Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a casted game. And today we've got Valdemar. He's on his Smurf account, known as the Kid. And he's playing as the Abbasid Dynasty here. Spawning in on the south in the color red. On the map, Dry Arabia. I've got to say, I do love Dry Arabia. It's the map everyone loves, right? Tell me a single person that turns around and goes, Dry Arabia. I don't like that map. No one does that, right? No one does that. Everybody loves this map. Because it's just the best, right? Tell me a single thing wrong with this map. You can't name a single thing. Maybe the trade posts. Maybe we can get rid of the trade posts. Even then, it's a small thing, right? I think this map is generally loved by pretty much everyone. Anyway, a bit of a side rant there, but we've got spawning in on the north side, Corvinus 1, playing as the Ottomans. So, the Ottomans have been changed quite a bit this season. Mainly when it comes to their cavalry, right? The Sipahi, just such a good unit now. This unit is actually kind of bonkers. I don't know, because they've had quite a few changes to them, right? The health increase, damage increase, range increase, and then obviously that's countered by the resource increase. But it's still so good. Honestly, this unit feels like a knight. Maybe that's a little bit exaggerative, but it still feels pretty damn good. Like, especially in combination with the meta to give the extra movement speed. I think the movement speed is something that's so nice about the meta as well, right? It's like it feels very much like a sofa, but even faster than a sofa. Especially when you get the meta in there when you've used the Vizier point for the extra movement speed and attack speed. And the thing is, you can always set it to like melee defense and range defense as well, depending on what sort of situation you're in. If you're up against full archers, then going for that extra +1 melee or range defense armor is huge. So, yeah, we'll have to see what Corvinus looks to do here, because honestly, I think you could just go for mass Sipahi. Especially, maybe not up against the Abbasid. I was going to say especially up against the Abbasid, because they love to go for mass cavalry and archers. That's sort of something we've been seeing a lot out of them recently, especially because of their composite bows. They can just stick with archers all the way up until the Imperial Age. Composite bows and boot camping combination. Just so damn good with their archers. But then you also have to think, the Abbasid, they do also like their spim, and they've got the phalanx upgrade, right, for the extra range. Very good at just poking and prodding at Sipahi and any sort of cavalry, right? So you got to be careful there. But I think it's definitely an option to go for mass Sipahi here when you're playing as Corvinus. But we've got the military wing coming in here for the Kid. Valdemar, going to be aging up there with the military wing. So, interesting choice. Not going for a second TC. Well, he might still be going for a second TC. But I think it's a good choice going with the military wing. It's something we've been seeing a lot more out of civilizations that either like to play it out in Feudal Age or go for a second TC immediately in Feudal Age. Such as like the Holy Roman Empire. We've been seeing a lot of 2 TC from them, where the Abbasid just go immediately up with the military wing, and then they send out the 2 spears and 2 archers to try and harass that second TC. Or you make it when civilizations love to stick it out in Age 2, such as the French, such as the Ottomans, such as, I think that's about it. Rus, maybe? Rus are more happy to go into the Castle Age, but the Ottomans and the French, they are more than happy to just stick it out right in the Feudal Age. Just go all in. Because French, they've got the slow little passive villager production. And Ottomans, they've got the military schools. So they're more than happy to just stay in the Feudal Age, pump out all of those units, and just sort of slowly crush your opponent. I think that's even more possible now with the increase of, the buff to Sipahi. But we'll have to see what Corvinus looks to go for here. He did go up with the Twin Minaret Madrasa, so no sort of cheeky Sultani trade network shenanigans, unfortunately. I gotta say, I do like his Sultani trade network build. I think it's so damn good. But it doesn't seem like we're gonna be seeing that. We've already got the 3 spears out. Now we've got a Sipahi in the queue. And it looks like Valdemar is gonna be going into some horsemen here. So horsemen, interesting choice, because I do believe they're slightly faster without the meta than a Sipahi, but slightly slower with a meta up against the Sipahi. We'll have to see how this does for Valdemar here. But we see already harassing here with those two archers, with those two spears, waiting for that Sipahi to jump out of that military school. It's actually doing some decent damage here. Going to be taking a little bit of damage onto that spearman, though. Need to be super careful. Tier 1 also comes through for Valdemar here. I think he's actually built an extra few houses to get in that Golden Age. Golden Age is something a lot of new players tend to forget about it, right? It's actually so important because we actually take a look at it. It's plus 15% for all resources. Gather rate. You know, that's a free double broadaxe, a free specialized pick, and a free horticulture. Boom. Just like that. For just building 10 houses. Or 10 buildings, which, you know, all Valdemar needed to do was spend 150 wood on a couple more houses, right? So I do love the fact he's done that. It's something we do actually see a lot of higher level players. They tend to forget as well. So it's not just the lower level players, right? It's a lot of players. But looks like Valdemar's doing some decent damage here onto Corvinus. You know, lots of vills there on low HP. Hasn't found a villager kill quite yet. But it's been a little bit of idle time, right? But that first Sipahi comes out. Let's take a look at the movement speed. So we've got 1.75 for the Sipahi. And we've got 1.88 there for the Horseman. Yeah, so the Horseman is slightly faster. But I'm pretty sure when the meta comes in from the Vizier point, which I'm sure Corvinus will be grabbing, it's a standard, right? I'm pretty sure then this Sipahi will be a little bit faster. We see now going to be looking to charge down Valdemar. One of his spears quite low on HP, down to 4 HP in Corvinus. He's got 3 archers behind us as well as 3 spears. The Valdemar, he's just going to be retreating back to the base. He's bought himself some time for that second TC. Going to be moving out to the steer pack. So 2 TC coming through from him. I love this build a lot. But you got to be really careful up against the Ottomans here. Because the Ottomans, I would say Ottomans counter the Abbasid pretty well. Just because of the aggression they can put onto the second TC. So Valdemar, you need to be careful with this placement. I think this is an alright placement. It's quite safe behind the base here. But you do still have to be careful. Especially now as you're losing some economy. Look at that. 2 villagers going down there for Valdemar. Corvinus looking in a good spot. He's up by 2 villagers. He's also now dropping down his second military school. You know, these count as villagers. At least I like to think of it that way. Because they're free resources, right? I believe these are like 2.5 villagers each, I think. It was something like that. But either way, right? These are going to help towards your military and the aggression you're putting on in the feudal age here without really affecting your economy. Of course, you've got the initial investment, but it's not a lot, right? It's 250 resources. It looks like now Corvinus is going to be dropping down a stable and barracks. Has down just the 1 archery range. He's up to 6 archers. Interesting that he's actually dropped down a barracks here. I feel like you could just go for mass archer plus Sipahi. But we've got 4 Sipahi in the queue right now for Corvinus. Valdemar going to be looking to try and raid once again with these horsemen. No blacksmith upgrades through for him. In fact, need the player to grab any sort of blacksmith upgrade quite yet. Surprised by Corvinus there. I thought he would have been looking to grab his iron undermesh by this point in time. Just because then you can dive this TC a little bit easier, right? Valdemar, he's away from this wood line. So if you can dive under here and try and deal as much damage while reducing the amount of TC fire, I think that could be pretty huge. But Valdemar, he's just out here looking to pick up reinforcements. So not necessarily going for a raid here, but oh, Valdemar playing with fire right there. Almost running into Corvinus's army. But it looks like he's the one wanting to spawn aggression here. He's got quite the force. And look, he's going to be picking up some reinforcements here. Sipahi gonna be going down, and Sipahi, they're a lot more expensive nowadays. We take a look here, Valdemar gonna be losing another vill. But look at this Sipahi. They're 120 food, 40 wood. So they're a lot more expensive than they once were. So, you know, each Sipahi that you lose, it's a lot of resources down the drain. Obviously, it was still like that before, but it's even more so now, right? Hardened upgrades come through for the spears. Valdemar in a great spot when it comes to his army. Sure, Corvinus has the better units with these Sipahi, but he just doesn't have the numbers. Now the surround coming through. Those spears going to get taken out. Horsemen versus Sipahi and archers. Corvinus brings in the meta, though. This could be the game changer. He brings in the attack drums and the extra movement speed. Oh, I don't think we got the movement speed. I don't think this was the Vizier. No, I don't think it was. So he's not going to have the faster movement speed here to be able to run away. But he's got plenty of Sipahi in here. Look at the reinforcements coming through. And this is the power of the Sipahi right here. Look at the numbers for him. They're just not dying. What's he got it set to? He's got it set to melee defense drums. So going to be taking even less damage from the horsemen. We have the camel archer in here. Going to be debuffing the Sipahi by -2 damage right now. It looks like we do have the... we've got so many random buffs in here right now. But that camel archer gets taken out. Huge value for Corvinus. And look at the amount of Sipahi he still has alive. That is absolutely ridiculous. The Valdemar, he's starting to build up in that eco lead. But his military is starting to look a little bit rough. We see he's down by almost half when it comes to value. So Corvinus behind this. It looks like he's going to be adding in his 3rd military school. So did we get the extra movement speed? I don't think we did. Because I don't... usually... It's a little bit buggy, right? Sometimes it shows up here. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'm not seeing it. So I don't think we do have the movement speed. Instead, I think Corvinus went for the 3rd military school. But I think that should be the 2nd one. So I'm not sure what he went for first. Might have been Anatolian Hills. For the extra sheep. Just so it doesn't have to move out for any sort of deer. Which he has actually done. But I think it must have been Anatolian Hills. But at the moment, we've got that ranged defense drums in. Which is really, really nice. I gotta say, I do love that upgrade. Or that buff from the meta. Basically works as an iron undermesh, right? And if you grab iron undermesh, you basically got tier 2 blacksmith upgrades right there with the meta. So it looks like now Valdemar is going to be massing up in the base. He's more than happy to defend this, right? You don't need to put on the aggression anymore. You just need to play it safe at the base here. You're on 2 TC. You may be idling some bills here, but you are on 2 TC. You're also walling up. So what you need to do at this point in time is just survive. Surviving is the #1 game here, because at this point in the game, Ottomans start to get really scary. And have a look at the composition that Corvinus is making right now. He's going into Spears Sipahi. What is this? He's role-playing the French right now. And now, Valdemar, he's moving out to the left-hand side. Corvinus is going to be coming in the right-hand side here. Looks like Valdemar is going to come back in time, though. Corvinus not wanting to commit quite yet. Probably wants to grab Iron Undermesh before you dive this, right? We've got quite a few archers here for Valdemar. And TC Fire. Valdemar yet to grab boot camp. Oh my goodness, no. Valdemar. Valdemar, no. Man, you need this. This is such an important upgrade. Plus 15% to all health of infantry. When you've got a mass like this is so damn important. And it's so cheap as well. 125 gold, 50 food. That upgrade is a must right now. And now it looks like Valdemar is trying to force a fight here. Might be trying to snipe that meta down. Please, Valdemar, you need this upgrade. If you don't grab this upgrade, I don't know. It's going to look rough. You've got the right composition here. Right? You got archers and spears. But then again, look at Corvinus' army right here. Honestly, I think if you're Valdemar, you just spam out spears. He's dropping down a blacksmith now. That wall gets taken out so damn quick. We also have some horsemen on the way. The one camel archer. Always love the one camel archer. Gives the debuff to the Sipahi. The -2 damage can come in really, really clutch, right? It's a pretty huge debuff. So keeping that camel rider alive on the back line, super important. Now, that next gate gonna look to get taken out here. Look at the mass of units coming through for Corvinus right now. Valdemar, he just needs to survive. He's the one on 2 TC. He's the one that can play the defensive here. But the numbers looking so good here for Corvinus. We see he's also stacking up some food, so maybe looking towards a castle age. Plenty of blacksmith upgrades coming through, so we see he's on double blacksmith, grabbing the last few upgrades before going in for the great death push. And have a look at this. He's used a Vizier point on 8 Janissaries. Oh my goodness, look at this. 8 Janissaries coming through. Look at the number of Sipahi that... Oh, that is crazy. And you've got the ranged defense in there as well. but we're up against a lot of spears. We're up against 19 spears and a camel archer. So, Corvinus, you need to be careful because you could be losing out on a lot of your Sipahi right here. Because these guys will shred your cavalry. At least they should, right? Well, let's compare this to horsemen. If these were horsemen, they would all be dead to this army right here. But, you know, these are Sipahi. These are better than your regular old horsemen. And now it looks like Corvinus, one thing's going for the dive. Got a couple metas in there to be able to increase the APM here from Valdemar. Nice choke point in here for Valdemar. We see TC fire as well as a tower fire helping in here. Camel Archer still alive. Sipahi have the -2 attack, but look at the Janissaries on the backline here, destroying those horsemen. And have a look at this. Corvinus somehow is winning this fight. Under all of this TC fire, underneath this arrow fire, up against 30 odd spears in here, he's still able to win this with how many? He's still got 20 Sipahi left. This unit is broken. I am amazed by this. Look how many he's still... If this was horsemen, they would all be on the floor dead right now. And with that, GG gets called. Valdemar, he realizes that he has nothing to stop the Sipahi. I don't think anyone has anything to deal with these Sipahi. I mean, that's just a crazy unit. Well, if you did enjoy this casted game, consider subscribing, leave a like, let me know what you think of this unit down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.